Salutations, all you people here. Yeah. Thank you for joining me on today's workout, stretch, mobility. Feeling good about yourself kind of thing. It's kind of hot out today. You know, it's best to make sure you're comfortable and lightweight. Make sure everything is where you need it to be, so that way you can the proper hold of all your firm fittings. You don't want to be hot, especially when it's warm inside the building. Appreciate you guys all just joining me on this special occasion of self-healing. Right? Make sure you put your watch onto how many calories you're going to burn for this. And make sure, there we go. Perfect. A little bit more. There we go. Goody. Hey, smiles. Let's do this. This is annoying me. All right, what we're going to do is practice a little bit of wrist work because we will be getting on our hands and knees. Maybe. Who knows? I haven't decided yet. One thing I have decided to do today is footwork. All right, make sure you're all nice and comfortable. Looking good. Gander around. Make sure we are doing what we need to do. Put your rings in your pockets. Make sure they don't fall out. Use zippers. All that kind of stuff. That way they don't get in the way. Nice. I'll probably go over there in a corner where there's a mirror, but the sun is shining on that spot. So we're here in the shade. All right. So we're going to stand tall. Make sure we're breathing. Make sure your zippers are zipped up all the way so you don't attempt to put your hands in your pockets. Straighten up. Make sure you're straightening up, focusing on your body. That'd be a good thing to do. Stretch your toes up. Firmly planting the balls of your feet and the heels of your feet, and your body is straight down. You have that arch going. You have this arch going. You have this arch going. Good. Your head is up, looking straight ahead. Breathing. Always breathing. Remember that task on day 4. Stretching, that's better. No rings make it better to stretch the hands. Make sure you're upright. You are breathing into the chest. You're using the lungs to breathe into the chest. You're not opening the chest with your chest muscles to breathe in. We don't do that. We're going expanding here, which expands these naturally. Okay? We're focusing on balance, and we are focusing on movement. I had a nice little talk last night on TikTok with some very hypocrites, saying that because on my bio it says QiGong, meditation, sound bowls. Just to let you guys know that sound bowls, crystal sound bowls, which I use, was invented in America by General Electric, by white people who are using crystal sound bowls to tune their electronics and many other things. They were saying, they booted me out real quick before I even get a word in because they kept blocking me and muting me and all that. Oh my gosh, I have to rant right now. And I decided to look up the history more into it last night after I got done with them. So that way, make sure I have much more clarity and brain power because they just kept interrupting me and they kept muting me before I could get my word in. TikTok, right? Hypocrites saying I was culturally appropriating another culture because I was meditating. I do QiGong and I do sound bowl therapy for people. Okay? Everyone in this world does things differently. Make sure you're still moving. Make sure you're still breathing, even when I'm talking about something else. You are still supposed to be doing what you are supposed to be doing no matter what, right? We're going to do toe rises. Do not try to stiffen up. Oh my gosh, I had a little pull, a little ring toe. I felt that, so I need to adjust. So I'm going to basically get on the balls of your feet. Now curl your toes, which will raise the ball of your feet, and your toes are pointing down into the mat. Yep. If you look real closely, I am doing these. It's basically the same as wall climbing at a wall climbing gym. You are pointing your toes into the stuff to lift yourself up into the air as you climb. Okay? I have wall climbing gear. All right. So we're just now pushing our big toes and we got our little toes like this in there, curled together and going into the mat. All right. Just do that for a moment. We're not pushing our big toes firmly into it. We're trying to big toe to pinky toe equally dispersing into the mat while we're balancing ourselves with proper balance and hips, shoulders, head, and neck. Now, back to my little story. They literally said I was being cultural, and then they also said after they booted me out was I was still kind of in the chat box, but not on their video. Oh my god, I feel so grossed out. But they never got a chance, so I went ahead and texted the information. After I got in 3 texts, they booted me out because I responded with this. One guy, who is, I'm not going to say is an islander of some sorts, has the tattoos. And he says tattoos were invented by us. I'm like, no, your style of tattoo was invented by you. Inking skin has been around for 5,000 years, notably. There has been cases where there could have been longer tattoos, as they have discovered this in last year through digging and excavating and archaeological things. All right. So I know these things because I do archaeological reads of research because it's a pastime of mine. All right. I like history. I'm a history buff. All right. Don't know everything, but I read what comes around. So I basically stated in my texts, because they kept interrupting me, saying that no, it's not. And they're saying, oh, you're cultural appropriating and you shouldn't be getting paid for that. I'm like, I'm offering a service. Therefore, I'm allowed to get paid for it. I said that. So, and not only that, I do a lot of it like here, voluntarily. All right. They understand I told them that Qigong is about self-healing. They should read more into it. And that everyone is allowed to do it. And I also told them that the culture in Asia and many other things don't mind. They want people to heal. They want people to basically see that their culture is providing amazing self-therapy for everyone. I also told them this. As the sound bowls were invented by WYT people, and basically by a corporation, all right, to promote, to basically help them to understand their electronics and tune their electronics, all right? I told them that I'm doing no such thing as corporal appropriation, all right, because I do have, though, one hitting copper bowl, which was given to me at a Tibetan store by a Tibetan monk. It's a heart chakra bowl. I do have it over my massage studio. We're still putting our toes in our heels and we're still balancing. So what we're doing is we're just like crunching our feet together. We're going to release it in a moment. All right. In fact, let's go ahead and release it and open those toes. One toe's up on the left foot. Open and close. Open and close. Staying balanced on the ridge of the spine of your foot. We are on the ridge of the spine of our foot, balancing ourselves between heel to the balls of our ridge of our spine of our foot on both sides. All right. We are basically separating our feet. pushing our feet that way. Try not to bend the knees out. All right, just the feet, just a little bit of pressure. Breathing, balancing, staying upright. Okay, so this is a little. I felt disgusted on how they were representing themselves, saying that I'm the one that was being a hypocrite, and I'm like, no, they were being a hypocrite for not researching this information. So I went ahead and researched the very first person who had ink. No, he was saying that tattoos is their word, that they invented that word. That's fine. He can claim that word. But it's widely known throughout the entire world that everyone gets a tattoo, that everyone gets an ink. Ink their body. All right? Inking their body is tattooing their body because it's using a form of penetration with certain type of needles. I was going to state to him, now, did you get that ink done on your head and body by a gun or by shark bone? I was not even allowed to get to that point because they kept muting me and booting me out. Really? If he said gun, then he's basically being a hypocrite, saying that it's his islander islands. But if he said shark bone or any other type of fish bone, then I can understand that he was truly being who he was in his culture. All right? But other than that, I told him, I was like, I don't get inked. I do have old ass tattoo in my young days, but I don't get inked. I got one right here on my birthday a long ass time ago, but it's runes. I have got rune stones because my heritage is that of Europe, Northern Europe. Okay, so I got me runes. That's what I did. That's my tattoo. And right here, around, that means, because bats are around the world and they can't, and that's not cultural appropriating having ink done on your body with bats. Sorry, it's not. The thing is, though, I was booted out for the various reasons that they think I was basically appropriating people. All right. Oh, sorry. I was supposed to guide you guys. Breathe in. Now we're going to have one foot out, and then we're going to tilt. All right. The reason being because I want to make sure your foot is still down. You're still up. All right. Make sure your feet are spread wide like this, and then you just nice on the right. What we're doing is just rotate the foot. Breathing, rotating the foot. So we're just basically focusing on our feet right now because I had a client who had very strenuous, tight feet caused by tight muscles and tight bands in the leg and calf and soleus and the tibial muscles. All right, and on both sides and shin splints and everything like that. And the way to work those things out is by doing this process. So we're basically focusing on some therapy here today. Now we're going to release that. We didn't have to spend too long on that. Foot forward. Doesn't have to be too far. Don't go too far. Just enough for your balance. Okay, you see how I'm balanced? See how I'm balanced. Remember my day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4, we stay balanced. Now move that other foot forward and just kind of like get it on the spine of that thing. You can do this and then rotate. The reason why we want to do a nice, good rotate because we're going to open up those tendons, which opens up at the ankle to the ridge of the spine of the foot. All right, just let it sit there for just a moment, okay? And just kind of like put a little pressure on it so that way we're just a little pressure, okay? But not too much, just enough. Make sure you're on that heel. And make sure you're on the ridge of the spine of the foot, and you are dorsal stretching it this way. We're not going too far. We're just doing a little bit. We're just starting here, but we'll do more later. Well, it unnerved me really because they're, being hypocrites because they don't understand where sound bowls. But sound bowls come from Asia. I'm like, yes, because that's where they manufacture them, but they did not invent them. All right, crystal sound bowls were invented by General Electric, by a company, by engineers, by intellectual humans that needed this to tune their electronics, to basically get the frequencies right with their electronics. Okay, amazing. There goes the frosted bowls. Yes, definitely YT made. All right, and ingenuity, amazing. But I was going to also bring it up to them as well. Did you know they're saying everything's cultural appropriated by white people, cultural appropriating this and this, hairdos and all that stuff? I'm like, you do know that televisions, cars, trains, automobiles and all that stuff, and many other things were created by Europeans and Americans who were white teeth. That's right. Did you know this? Uh-huh. Electricity. Is that cultural? No. The thing is, though, is what it is that when a white person from a capitalist country invents something, it gets distributed throughout the entire world to progress the entire world. They don't keep it to themselves, but they do sell it for profit. And so that way they can keep making money to create more improvements on their products that they have created and create new things as well. But you don't ever see us white people saying you are culturally appropriating. You're not allowed to have cars. You're not allowed to have airplanes. You're not allowed to have, you get what I'm saying? This design. You're not allowed to have this. You're not allowed to have that. Think about all of the freaking inventions and that was created by white people. Is it cultural appropriation to use our products? No, we don't care. We believe that for the good of all mankind. That's right. And therefore we share our ideas. We share our world. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to their little tiny island, when their little tiny mental capacity to understand things, is that when you invent something, you share it and let others create with it. That's right. You let them decide whether or not it's for them, so that way they can gain an identity for themselves. For instance, I drive an electric car. Therefore, I decided that that was the right fit for me to fit my image. I mean, I can't do nothing with this hair. It's completely unmanageable. Lift up, release off that foot, kind of like do a little bit of this, breathing. That's right. Move it up and down. There we go. Let's do a move on the next thing. Heel to toe. We're just, heel up, toes up, heel up, toes up, heels up, toes up. So I was very worried about what are these white people that was in this group. That's right. There was only one person there that was from an island who was really distinctive on saying, you can't have tattoos. I'm like, but I can ink myself due to the fact that in the Alps, 5,000 years ago, there was a person there with tattoos. But that was basically due to the fact because that was a mummified corpse with tattoos on it in the Alps. You tell me again that they took your ideas from you when they were completely 12,000 miles away from you, around from your island. You tell me that. Did they somehow visited you and got the idea? No, absolutely not. They did not know you existed. And not only that, I was like literally going to say, even, guess what? Egyptian pharaohs had ink done. That's right. Proof that they did. Not just them. Even kings and queens of Europe from hundreds of years ago who's never, ever. This is before the time of Cook and Cook Islands. They did not invent tattoos. They invented the word tattoo, gave it a name, inking the body. Because there's nothing in the Bible about inking. No, just scarring, mutilation, and all that stuff. But there's nothing in there about inking. All right? Because that was written long before they thought ink was even plausible or even knew it even existed around their freaking little tiny feeble minds in their little tiny monastery freaking circles. And when they wrote that stuff, they didn't know it existed. All right? The thing is, though, they were, that person in the Alps who had ink was not culturally appropriating. I call it ink, but it's called tattooing. You don't say inking. You're gonna ink my body? That's great. You're gonna inking my body? Doesn't really it's not really catchy. Other than that, it's a dilemma. It really is about these people who think, all right, let's go ahead and just put on the balls of your feet, knee up, let's go like that, and then turn at the ankle, turn at the ankle. There we go. So I was like appalled about how I was being criticized about me being a meditative. I do meditations. Meditation's been around for a long time. Guess how long? That's right. You already know the answer to that if you did the research. That I shouldn't be doing that. That I'm not allowed to profit off it either. Go figure that about these people that don't understand the situations, all right? What about the burqa? Is it cultural appropriation for someone in Ireland, a female, who decides to marry a Muslim man and then starts to wear a burqa? Is she culturally appropriating? She got married to a Muslim and decided to take on Muslim ideals. Is she cultural appropriating? No, she isn't. Because she married into it. Just like how, if you know how Jews are, when you marry into a Jew, you have to become a Jew or you don't ever marry the Jew. That's called forced. Yeah, that's unconsidered forcement and brainwashing and shit. That's what I believe it is. But the thing is, though, they take on their ideals, their religion, their way and style of dress, including that blonde woman who decided to become a Jew now has to wear a black colored hair wig for the rest of her life when she needs to leave her house. Yes, she has to do that because she's not allowed to be blonde if you're a Jew. I am not joking. I am not joking at all. If your hair starts turning gray and you're a Jew woman, guess what? You're not allowed to dye it, but you are allowed to wear a wig of black hair. You're not allowed to dye your hair if you're a Jew. You find a Jew dyeing their hair, she is completely sinning against her own religion. Oh yeah, I know a lot of things. Same thing. Is that cultural appropriating when a non-Jew marries into a Jew family and has to take on those roles as a Jew woman, a new Jew woman? No, it's not. It's because she has to now follow their rules, or she is not allowed to be a part of it. Is that right? No, I think that's wrong in all accounts to do that. You should be yourself and always be yourself and never freaking change yourself for anybody. You change yourself for yourself, but don't change for others. Don't ever change for a religion. Because that right there is an act of discrimination against their own culture. You're just forcing people to do the wrong thing. Now let's get to the other foot. Remember to stay balanced. You see I'm just balanced on my other leg? See, nice, huh? Right? I should be able to swing this out and I'm still balanced. See, nice, huh? This is really good for the flexors. Nice, huh? Do a couple of these if you can. Make sure you're breathing. I know, what a day to do therapy and talk about the things that happened to me last night, which kept me up till 2:30 in the morning because, I kept thinking about it. It could have also been the oolong tea that I made on my new teapot that I got in the mail. I like that teapot. I'm going to film it later. So let's go ahead and separate our feet. Now we're going to go up and down. Toes. Oh, I'm going to make sure. Let's do one at a time because, it's all about balancing. Up and down. Hands out. Toes up. Toes down. Hands down. Heels up. Hands out. If you do this, you won't fall backwards. But if you do this and try that, you have to bend backwards more. But if you do that and you're like, oh, it's all about. We're just working on ankles and feet right now. That's right. This whole video is about ankles and feet. I'm not ranting about cultural appropriation from people who are completely toxic and hypocrites. Make sure you're breathing and keeping that tummy tucked. This should be kind of strong. Good. We're working out all this stuff. Good, good, good. Now let's go ahead and put this foot in the middle of the mat. Take this guy and swing it around. And now we're bending it like this. This is nice and easy. And the foot is just going into the mat, bending. Can you see that? Good. Breathing. Make sure you stay balanced. Wave your arms around if you have to. Let's get that bend. We are bending that dorsal. We are stretching the tibials. All right? Good. Kind of rotate a little bit if you have to and unrotate. And you can go also further into it. Now you want to see how this shin goes into the back of that calf, and I'm pushing down on it, give it more stretch. And I'm bending my knees just a little bit. More stretch. We are stretching at the very joints of the ankle. That's right. Now let's go ahead and raise up. Come in closer to the foot. Stay balanced. Stay breathing. Make sure your arms are out a little bit. And then put that shin at behind the Achilles and then push down on it a little bit with your own body. Just a little bit. Stay balanced. Stay upright. You stay upright and balanced, you will be fine. That's right. And release. You see I'm still balanced? Good. Kind of do a few of these first before we move on. Got to get that whole thing moving. Spin our knees and go down a little bit. Good. This here works behind the knees. Relaxes them, keep those knees together. Now, raise up, make sure you're balanced, and then way out here. And then get this, just let it go. Don't push into the knees just yet. Just nice and easy on the dorsal. That's where we start. Breathing, balancing, and taking our sweet time. That's right. See, time goes by when you hear me chat a lot, doesn't it? If you need to do this, it's best to basically talk to someone about buddy, and do this at the same time because it will keep your mind from getting bored, and you're going to stop self-therapy and move on to something else and not do the proper self-therapy because you stopped. So basically all of this chat and ranting and contemplating about the whole world and all that kind of stuff and what people are freaking saying and that kind of stuff is the way to go. It's like, other things, you can also concentrate on is saying, why is politics doing this stuff? It is December 2025. It is January 2025, moving in February. It's all looking good. Now we want to get that knee and the other leg that's behind this leg and bend both of them. Don't worry if that moves a little bit. It's all about just staying balanced and being in the right spot because now we're basically going to be putting more stretch into that dorsal. If you start cramping, stay balanced. You see how I'm staying balanced here? You see how balanced I was there? Good. That's exactly what you're supposed to be at. Good. Mm-hmm. Now we want to release. Oh, I'm about to lose balance there. Straightening up, balance, and then release. Move that foot over to the other foot and kind of put that Achilles and then bend and bend. Now we're using these guys, staying balanced, moving into it even further. That's right. And then release, bend those toes, bend those toes, bend those toes. And now we're bending those toes. We get that heel go out. We didn't do it the other leg, so we're going to go back over there. Should have done this. Just thought about it. Go ahead and bend those toes and get the heel to go that way. Bending the big toe, bending the little toes, and go that way. We're just basically going that way. Yeah. And then bend it back and bend it back. Get that heel to go that way. Breathing, balancing. There we go. And release. Bend those toes that way now. Because now we have to go the opposite route. Now we're doing it. Now we're going to get that leg nice and firm together. Shin against the calf. And we got our toes bending the other way now. And then we want to go. I know, right? You can rotate that body. Rotate that body. Now, as you can see, this lifted up. And it's bending up. And you see here, if I go this way, I'm back to where I'm at. I'm basically balancing myself on the balls of my feet and that heel on my right leg. And then I'm going to turn my torso, my entire body, to where my heel is now touching. And it basically turns to the spine of my foot on the other one. And then we're going to go back, a nice new stretch, and bend into that Stretching those toes even further. Yes, this is how you stretch those toes. We're basically relaxing that whole foot. That whole foot is relaxed. Our whole pressure is balancing on basically the shin, on the back of the calf, and on the other foot between the balls of our feet, the spine of our foot, and the heel. All right? We should all be connecting to the mat. Release, release. Let's go back over here. Replace your feet. Kind of like, get that. I can feel that in my adductor. Oh, no worries. We will be working on adductors. And we're going to come back over here, kind of crisscross. And we're going to get that whole foot like right there. And then just let it relax it. We're not putting our body weight on it. We're just relaxing. Breathing, balancing, understanding ourselves, watching ourselves in the mirror. Make sure you're watching yourself in the mirror, because if you're not, you are not properly where you need to be. Get the kinks out of yourself. You can work on other things where you can just, if you need to, arm circles while you're waiting, breathing through your nose, in 4 seconds, out 4 seconds. Remember that. Now I'm going to turning this way now. Breathing. And now I'm going to turn back the whole body. If you have to readjust and get those, there we go. Make sure if you didn't do it right the first time, readjust yourself to where you are. My legs are holding firm together, balancing between the heel and the toes and my balls and the spine of my foot, balls of my feet, the spine of my foot to the heels, breathing, just here. I'm firmly grasping my legs together. My toes are now being forced into the mat because it's the second time around. And now I'm going to like twist, find that where you see my foot, exactly where it needs to be. And you can see as I work with a lot of people in therapy that their toes don't bend this far. And you need them to bend this far. If they're not, you need to work on it. And it takes a long time if you don't have that much range of motion. And if you don't do this, you're going to get plantar fasciitis. If you don't do this, you're going to get foot cramps. If you don't do this, you're going to get leg cramps. If you don't do this, you're going to basically be stiff in your feet and you can't walk properly and your feet are going to hurt because you didn't do this. Many other reasons. We're going to do another turn. Make sure as we turn, our foot is turning down and the balls of the feet going down. And we're basically turning here at the hips, pushing our body into itself, balancing ourselves. And our weight is on the spine of our foot back here, the balls of our feet, the heel, and the spine of the foot. Breathing. And releasing, 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 releasing. Kind of like do that. You see how I'm just balanced. There we go. Now, yay. We're moving on to our next thing that we need to do as well, which is adductors and also flexing and stretching our gluteus maximus. Find yourself here, get your foot in the middle of the mat, make sure you are balanced. Make sure your pant leg is not going to stretch, bend at the knee. You got to make sure there's leeway right here with your fabric, okay? Breathing. Now, we're going to put this above the knee, all right? If you can't do this, hold on to something. Go to something to hold on to. Now, what we want to do is stay straight, keep our shoulders straight, neck straight, and we want to squat. Nice and slow. You can put your hands here. You can do some of this because we all need to do this anyways too. And squat until we become perpendicular to the world. You can just let your arms down. Start over. Balancing, come in, and squat. If you have to, get your fingers on the ground. That's going to help. Doesn't have to be, because wherever you go and fall, you're going to catch yourself. All right? Breathing. Balancing. Keep your head balanced and relax on your shoulders. Keep your shoulders even with each other. Balancing on the foot, of the ball, and the heel, and the spine. Everything is balanced. Your knee is not passing your toes. Your knee does not pass your toes. You're opening here at the glute and hip. You're opening here at the glute and hip. Sitting down in on yourself. And if you've got your balance going, straighten your back. Straighten your back. Whew. We don't have to do that forever, but do that often. Like do like 3 sets of that. You don't have to stay balanced, breathe, relax out of that. And then do the other side. Find yourself balancing. Make sure you do the same thing. Oh, that's tight. And then put your ankle on that side, and then the inside of the tibial bone, above the knee, not on the knee, above the knee, like right here above, not on it, above it, right on the meaty part. All right, and make sure that knee is not here, it is here. We need to open up those flexors. And then, this is hard without a wall. So use a wall, use a handlebar, and balance yourself again. I'm always less balanceable on my left side. It's always been that way. And so I'm just going to go right into that stretch. Now I'm going to put my arm right there. That's going to be a big help to push that knee down. Straighten up. If you come out of your spot, get back into it. Whew. You can see I'm less balanceable. See, it happens to everybody. I'm going to keep this out here. Hopefully, I'm going to tilt my foot in. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right, my foot straight. I'm going to tilt my foot in a little bit. And then aim my hip straight. That's maybe better. We'll find out. Get that arm on their leg. Oh yeah, I forgot. Come down here and just get on, balance yourself. Let yourself forward fold into that and just let your spine bend in a little bit and balance yourself. Our goal is to stretch the other side of the hip, opening that up and getting this to go down. And to get that to go down is to put your arm on that knee. Oh, and you can feel that opening everything up, including those arthritic pains. You're gonna just go nice and easy into it. There we go. I got my balance. Hopefully. All right. When you find your balance, that's good. You know, you got to stay strong. Balance up, come back up. Don't just get back into it. You have to come back up and start over. Breathing. It's hard. You saw how better I did on my right. All right. I'm going to come in here, put my leg here, straighten, and come down. Use a wall. And here we go. All right. And there we go. I'm going to try to lean to the left a little bit, you know, so I can get my fingertip. Don't just touch it with my fingertip. That's all it takes to keep yourself balanced. And then put your arm right here, open up, and then straighten that leg, and then bend that knee. Make sure that knee don't pass the toes, and breathe. All right, we're done. Do that several times, because we're going to do that again on my left side, because like I said, we got to do it. Let's go to the other side several times. It gets easier each time, and that if you do it 3 times the charm, it really is, and we're going to do it 3 times. Don't deny yourself what you need to do. Doing it once is not good enough. And then I'll put my arm right here. That's going to open things up. I'm going to squat further. And then I'm going to come up with my leg like a pistola move. Again with the other leg. Come down into it. It gets easier each time because you're opening up those muscles. You're getting used to it. You're going further down. Other side. If you have to, just swap back and forth. Yeah, see, it gets easier each time. Oh, here we go. Put him out here. You know? That's easier. Okay, gotcha. Gets easier each time. Make sure that's in the right spot. Make sure you're good to go there. Go further down and come up with your legs. Okay. Whew. Let's do some rotations. Balancing and straightening, balancing and straightening. Tuck your shirt in if it falls out. Always look good. Always look good. Good. We accomplished 2 goals today: feet, ankles, tibials, hips, hip flexors, the hip joints and the muscles and the glute maximus, opening that up, getting all of this to open up. What is another one for abductors that we can do? Let's stretch our abductors. So let's go and turn side. All right. I know we did this before in the other, so we're going to spread them apart, right? And we're going to go forward fold. Let's do it for, we're going to get the back of the knee. We're going to work on the back of the knees, all right? Our focus is all of this today. Make sure your feet, heel to toes, are planted just fine. They're nice and loose. It's our body that's holding ourselves up right here, but we're relaxing in that forward fold. Try to keep that back straight, and then try to also relax all that down into it. You're using your spine to stay straight. You're not using your hips to stay straight. Guarantee you don't need to do that. And you gotta make sure your glute is going that way, but you're not falling backwards, but you kind of feel like you're going to. And just continue falling forward. This is basically getting the back of the knees. Nice and easy. That's what it's doing. You don't want to go too far in splits. You don't need that. Just enough to where if you come down, you're pretty much knuckles are touching. Nice and easy. We're going to rise up a little bit. Fingers touch. Bring your foot up. Oh, that gets the back of the knee above the gastrocs and soleus on the bottom of part of the knee. Release it. Get the other one. Make sure it's where you need to be. Rise that other foot up. And then bend yourself down with the foot rise. Let yourself fall into that foot rise. If you need to, grab your toes or, bend that knee and then straighten. And maybe, see, as long as it doesn't cause you a problem, you might have to get your foot out a little bit, bend that knee, grab those toes, and then straighten. That's going to help keep that foot up nice and relaxed more instead of trying to force it out with your own muscles. And then down. Let's do the other side again. Rise it up, and then let your foot go, and just let your body fall into this area. And we're going to rise up, kind of readjust, turn your torso, turn your foot, and then come down this way. You're going to feel that in the back of the knee. Put your arm above the knee for balancing, and your hand right here on the hip. And not like this with your head, like this with your head. That's where it should be comfortable at. You should be not holding yourself here, just balancing yourself here. You can also put your hand down here for further stretch. Breathing 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out through the nose only. Our nose should not be clogged right now. If you are clogging, make sure you expand the nose nostrils and opening them up naturally with your own muscles. People forgot how to breathe, how to operate those nose muscles. We'll be de-evolutionized into gray men if we don't, because our noses will go missing. Rise up, turn the foot, turn the torso, and go down, forward folding, and let it stretch all of this. And then arm down, stretching all of that more. Arm down, stretching it all more. And you can put your hand here if you feel like you can't handle it. What this does is it keeps the knee from bending, but you're not forcing it down. You're just you're not really putting your body weight into it, you're just putting it there. Above the knee. The meaty part of your forearm is above the meaty part of your knee. Just to keep the knee from bending and shaking your leg. It prevents shakes as well. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed, your head is relaxed, and you are breathing. It's good that we're operating here on the next day of stretches. Awesome. A new video to upload. I'm glad you guys are watching. Please like, share, And please tell everyone about it. Yes, saying this guy knows what the heck he's doing. He did a little rant. Understand about the rant. Ooh, I don't like him anymore because of his rant. Ooh, doesn't matter. You're here to stretch. You're here to stretch. You can mute me if you wanted to. You're just here to stretch. Now we're going to raise up. We're going to bend the knee. See, I got my arm still on here because that'll prevent shaking. And then I'm going to go down here and put my chest into my thigh, keeping my arm kind of on the knee because we're going to go like that. I'm going to come up. You stay where you are. Then again, I'm going to come over here so you can watch me. That way you can see what I'm doing. You stay where you are. Or switch to if you think that's better for you to watch me and do this. That way you get a better idea. Breathing. I'm going to bend my knee. See, I'm not going to lift my arm up and bend my knee. You see it jerked up. So we're going to use my arm to smoothly bend the knee. Go down into it, bringing my right shoulder to my knee. Putting my right chest into my, you see that? Right here. Right in there. It is where it goes. Oops. And then hold it in there. Keep yourself from wobbling. And then keep your chest down in there and straighten while your chest is still in there. This stretches all of this. Come up, bend that knee, keep your arm here for stability, no shaking, no strenuating the muscles and tissues and tendons and connective tissues and joints. Kind of bend that knee forward, but don't go past the toes. And then move. You have to put one hand here. You see what I'm doing here? We're now going to move the muscle. Now that we already did the stretches, we're now to move that muscle. What this does is keeping these muscles light. You are firm here, but stretching these guys here, which is necessary to prevent knee pain. Nice and easy. Nice and good. Go to the tip of the toes and then back. Putting your body weight into it, but remember to keep it light. Keep it light to where the muscles move. But you are stretching them. You are moving them. You are mobilizing them. You are breathing, doing this. You're relaxing into it. See, I'm kind of relaxing into it. I got my hand here for stability, keeping the knee and leg and everything stable. You can put your hand here too, and hand here. Keeps everything stable. Keeping the pressure on the balls and here on the balls, spine of the foot and heel of the foot. Breathing. I think about all these things. You have to think about all these things. If you're just doing a stretch and not thinking about any part of your body, you're doing it wrong. You have to think. You have to ponder. You have to contemplate. You have to make sure everything you're doing is proper. When I first started doing this, I had to learn to be proper. And it was strenuous. So everything I'm showing you is to hopefully don't cause too much strain on you, tearing muscles, tearing the connective tissues while doing any of this. Like I did in the beginning. I learned from my lessons. I'm here to teach you what I've learned. Because I use my own body as practice. And if I didn't do any of this, I'll be worse off today than I ever was. And straighten, bend that knee, unforward fold, turn that foot in, turn that other foot out, and do the other side. Straightening, breathing, forward fold. Put your arm here, or down there. Bend that knee, stability. Coming down into it. Nice and slow and easy at first. Don't have to put your full body down into it yet. You want to get used to this first. Yes, good, everyone. Thank you for basically getting all of this done. As soon as we're done with this, we're going to do one more exercise, maybe. We'll see. I know there's another one we're going to do, but we'll be on the mat for this, so it's not going to be off standing on it. We'll be doing something different. There's a next task that we need to do. that, you probably don't want anybody to see you do. Just kidding. Get that body weight into it. Oh, my knee just kinked out. Awesome. Nice and easy. Just keep those movements going. And we just got to get used to this. And that knee, come up, lift yourself up, turn, step. And let's shake that out a little bit. Shaking, balancing, and come on down. Let's get on our hands and knees. All right. Good. Now we're going to come down and sit. Not really sit, but nice and easy. We're basically now stretching these guys. We need to. I need to. This is basically, we're going to get into the next move. This is so, and that's the process. I want to get right into it. No. You got to get there. Forward fold down. Make sure your spine is erect straight when you do this. And what this does is it's going to be working out these guys on the internal area of the hips. All right, in the femur and coming down. Now, what we can do is we can walk down like this, opening up the hips. Now, I can turn around and show you. And we're going to go up. And we're going to come down, keeping our back straight. Pushing ourselves that way with go like that with our arms. All right, keep elbow and fists into the mat. And you can see how I'm just like going back and forth. We're going to come up. So I'm going to show you this way. I'm going to turn over a little bit like that. Now I'm going to come down. This is how I was. And then I came down here. And then what I did was I opened up my glutes. I opened up my hips. You can feel them expand at the glutes, at the tailbone. Come up, make sure that is arched. And then come down. And then stretch further if you have to. Then come back in. And make sure our glutes are expanding out. They're going that way. They're not just going into the mat. They are expanding out and then going into the mat. Okay? Then make sure they're opening up. A little bit left, a little bit right. Just little movements. Just little movements. You can see how I'm right here. And if I lift it, my leg can come out and do this. Oh, you don't see it? All right, let me do it the other way. We'll lift up. If my leg comes out, it comes to that next move that you saw in the previous videos. All right, but we're not going to do that today. You can if you want to after we do this. So we got basically in here, and we're basically as I'm sitting down into it, but I'm also opening it up further. My feet are not touching. They are basically about 12 inches apart. My toes are. That's where I'm at. They're not here. They are here. So you got to make sure that your feet are expanded out, and then we're sitting. Our hip should be touching the outside of the heel. That's pretty much where they need to be on both sides. All right. And then sit down into it. Breathe. Then rise up. And then get that hip to go that way. And stretch that out.
About the sneeze.
This is how I stop a sneeze. Just plug it.
And then kind of rub the nostrils on each other. That's how you can stop a sneeze.
Okay. And that's how I stop sneezes. All right. Except for sneeze attacks. But here we go. And then we're going to come back up. You see how I did that? And then we're going to go up like this. You see how we're balanced? Arm breathing. Arms up. And then straighten, sit. And then down with the hands, and because you're guiding yourself, breathing. We're going to do this several times, expanding those hips open. Now, don't just come into this position. You need to make sure after you get to here, you are opening up your tailbone. You are opening and expanding your hips. And then come up again, like I did here. You can do walk yourself up, and sit on your heels a bit, then rise and bend forward. You put your hands here, and that can be a help as well. And you can also stretch these while you're here. You can stretch up and then turn your head left, turn your head right, straighten. Oh, that kink came out of there. And then turn and then go like that again. Never only once. Always 2 to 3 times. Slow and easy. Now let's come over here and sit and rest. Now, as we rest, we're gonna make sure we're gonna put our hands right here, not on that, right there. Straightening our body, breathing, and then lean forward to rest the mid back and the lower back. And it will also rest this all inside here, nice and easy. Use your shirt to scratch your itches, not your fingernails, or you'll get rashes or you'll get blemishes or pimples. Always use a cloth to scratch your nose itches. Leaning forward, let your fists or hands come out, stretching out. Breathe. Remember to mouth breathe on this one because you're crunching and you're going down. Gasping in, gasping out. Stretching down, go down, stretching this way, stretching up this way. You can look up real quick to see what I'm doing. Going down further, come up, roll your spine. Oh, stretch out, grab your knee, and stretch out, coming up. Oh, all right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. We're done. Do that again. You don't have to do it today, but watch this video again. Don't think you know what you're thinking, what you're doing until you get this down pat, and then do it on your own between day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, and any further days that I put up on there. And any other videos that I put up. Please watch them and get better. Self-heal. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. And rest and do what you want to do on the next thing. So if you need to do other things, other stretches, other movements before you move into other programs of your self therapy or get into the workouts, do this before you do any leg machines, squat racks, curls, leg curls, anything like that, jumping jacks, that kind of stuff. Oh, hey, you know what? Sit here. Let's do this while you guys are just basically resting. And toes forward. We're not done yet. We could do this now. I just thought about it. Nice, right? We didn't do this yet. It was like it was supposed to be part of this, and I just thought about it. Nice. All right, we're not done. All right. This is good. Toes forward, toes up. Kind of like do this with your toes, big toes and all that, and then up above it, and about like this, and like this with your toes. Yep. And squeeze them together, and out. Oh, yeah, open that up. There we go. I can feel all that. You do one at a time while you rest the other. One at a time and rest the other. Good. Stretch further into there. There we go. I'm gonna make sure I put this in the notes. I thought I was done, but I wasn't done. And then you grab your toes. You can have your knees bent for this, but you should also make sure you're feeling those gastrocs stretching a bit. I'm pushing my palms into my toes, pushing my palms into my toes like this. And then release, and then fingers. Ah, they popped. Oh my gosh, they popped. Awesome possums. You know what? Let's do some self-therapy. Just work on it like fingering your on the top of your toes right here on the tarsals, and then just get those going, and then stretch them again. Oh my gosh, that felt so good. Releasing those guys. Get the palms on the edge of the toes, and then on the insides, and kind of squeeze like this. Yep. Back and forth. Let's give some assist. This is assist therapy. Good, good. Now, something like this should be going on my Patreon to show you guys what to do for that. That's right. And then come over here and just kind of finger your toes. I'm giving you guys a little bit of actual massage techniques. There we go. You should be happy. And just do that. Here, let me show you over here with this foot. Breathing. Never stop breathing. Always breathe when you do this. You'll exhaust yourself out mentally and physically if you don't breathe doing this. Get right into here. Just do a walk, thumb, 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 thumb. Kind of do some rotations right there at the belly of the foot, to the arch. You see I'm doing it right there. Yeah, you guys gonna get a little bit of freebie here. That's right. Please like and share in live. And because of my lives that I will be doing when I'm able to do lives on my YouTube, we are going to be doing self-care. Like literally real self-care like this. So like and share and get me 1,000,000 likes. Please do, so I can show everyone what to do. It'll be daily self-therapy, teaching everyone how to do this. Please subscribe. So I can get paid doing this. Because, all right, thank you guys for watching. Enjoy your self-therapy and go exercise now.